There you are. Your boyfriend here?
He's not my boyfriend. I don't know what you're talking about.
$6 million tucked away somewhere. You got any idea where that might be? Another one of these units here? Where's the memory card for this? Under here? Is it in here? In here?
The movie opens with Tom Dolan, a professional bank robber known as the In and Out Bandit. Over 6 years, he has pulled off 8 robberies across different states. Each one was carefully planned, leaving no trace behind, making it impossible for the police to identify him. Tom often visited a storage facility to hide the money he had stolen. The receptionist there was Annie Wilkins, a young woman who had just graduated with a degree in psychology. After several encounters, they grew close and eventually fell in love. After a year of dating, Tom became increasingly devoted to her. Tom wanted to take their relationship to the next level, so he suggested buying a house and moving in with Annie. She happily agreed, though she still carried the pain of a past marriage and an old heartbreak. However, Annie had no idea that Tom was hiding a big secret. He used to be a notorious thief. Tom loved Annie deeply and wanted to live an honest life with her. To make that happen, he decided to confess to the FBI the next morning. He contacted them and revealed his true identity, a notorious thief who had stolen over $9 million from 12 banks across 7 states. Tom spoke with Agent Sam Baker and proposed a deal. He would return all the stolen money in exchange for a lighter sentence of 2 years in a minimum security facility near the city with full visitation rights. His motive was clear. He wanted to start a new life for Annie. Tom wanted to prove to Annie that he truly wanted to live an honest life with her. However, Agent Baker doubted his confession. The FBI had received many false confessions from people claiming to be the in-out bandit, so Baker didn't believe Tom was genuine. Still, he agreed to meet Tom at the Charleston Hotel the next day and assigned the case to 2 agents, John Nens and Ramon Hall. 2 days passed with no response from the FBI, leaving Tom disappointed. He called again and spoke with Agent Sean Mayers, who only said the case had been assigned to 2 capable agents before quickly hanging up. Right after the call, Tom heard a knock on the door. Agents Joan Nens and Ramon Hall arrived, ready to hear his confession in person. Tom was taken into custody and asked to provide details about the robberies to confirm his identity. He explained that he targeted small banks with deposits dating back to the 1950s. These banks were often next to vacant buildings, allowing him to drill through the shared wall and reach the vault with ease. Tom revealed that he carried out his robberies on Friday nights. He used gelatin to loosen bolts and nuts, drilled into the vault, then patched the wall to erase any trace. The agents emphasized that, before considering any leniency, they had to verify every detail of his confession. The agents needed to know where Tom had hidden the stolen money. He gave them the address of the storage unit and offered to go with them. However, Ramon refused, took the keys from Tom, and told him to stay at the hotel while he and John checked it out. When they arrived, John came up with a plan to steal the money for himself to pay off his mortgage and cover his son's college tuition instead of turning it in as evidence. Despite Joan's persuasion, Ramon stood by his principles and refused to take part. Meanwhile, Tom anxiously waited at the hotel, and unexpectedly, Annie showed up. Annie mistook Joan and Ramon for Tom's old friends because they deliberately gave that impression, and both played along. She was delighted to hear that Tom planned to move into the house they had talked about and left to meet him at the hotel. Meanwhile, Myers informed Baker about Tom's confession, leading Baker to believe no one else was handling the case. Joan and Ramon then hid the money in a secret location and returned to the hotel where Annie had just arrived. Ramon confirmed that they had found the money. At that moment, Joan decided to kill Tom to cover up his crime. Just as he was about to act, Tom revealed that they had only recovered $3 million, with $6 million still missing. Right as John questioned him about the rest, Agent Baker appeared, shocked to see John aiming his gun. Joan hid his true plan from Baker and used his gun to force Ramon inside. A confrontation broke out, and John shot Baker dead. Tom tried to intervene, but both men fell out of the window. Seeing Annie terrified, Tom told her to run to safety. They fled as Joan and Ramon opened fire, yet managed to escape. During the chase, John and Ramon realized Tom had stolen Ramon's gun, making it harder for them to pursue. Annie was shaken by the chaos and demanded to know what was going on. Tom reassured her that he would explain everything once they were safe. While hiding, he revealed his criminal past, insisting he had never killed anyone or spent the stolen money. Tom explained that he turned to crime after his father was unfairly fired and lost his pension to a corrupt company executive. Tom's father couldn't bear the pain of losing his wife or the injustice done to her. Haunted by that tragedy, Tom drifted into a life of bank robbery for revenge and the thrill it brought. But after meeting Annie, he began to change and longed to live an honest life. Annie was the reason Tom hadn't committed another robbery for an entire year. Back at the Charleston Hotel, Agent Myers mourned Baker's death and vowed to find the killer. Fearing Annie might be dragged into the case, Tom urged her to leave town to avoid suspicion. Meanwhile, Joan informed Myers about Baker's death and falsely accused Tom of being the murderer, claiming they found nothing in the storage unit. Before leaving, Tom and Annie were forced to part ways. Annie boarded the bus, asking Tom to prove his innocence. They parted with sincerity and heartbreak. The next morning, Myers, John, and Ramon reviewed Tom's file and the security footage, identifying Annie. They discussed her recent divorce, and Myers ordered them to track Tom down. Meanwhile, Annie called Tom from the storage facility, telling him that the CCTV footage showed Joan and Ramon taking his storage boxes. She had returned to back up the evidence before it could be erased. Tom told her to leave immediately and call 911, but he chose to go there himself. Just as Annie was about to leave the office, something unexpected happened. Joan showed up and forced Annie to reveal where Tom had hidden the remaining $6 million. When she tried to escape, he attacked her and searched for the memory card containing the CCTV footage.
Is it in here? In here? It's gonna turn out well.
Ramon arrived in time to stop him and urged him to leave before anyone noticed. Later, Tom arrived at the storage facility, found Annie injured, and rushed her to the hospital. Tom quickly left the hospital to avoid being spotted by the police. While driving, he called an FBI agent and used Myers to contact Joan, secretly listening to their conversation. Joan pretended to know nothing about Annie. Sensing something was off, Myers decided to visit Annie at the hospital, while Tom stayed out on the streets keeping watch. A local police officer spotted Tom and started chasing him. Joan and Ramon, who had been tracking him, also moved toward his location. Tom drove off and hid behind some bushes, watching as Joan and Ramon unknowingly backed their car into his trap. Joan opened fire, forcing Tom to fight back. Amid the chaos, Myers located Tom and continued the pursuit. Tom lured him into an ambush, leading to an intense hand-to-hand fight between the two. Tom accused Joan and revealed that he was the one who attacked Annie. He disarmed Myers, who urged him to surrender and promised a fair trial. But Tom chose to handle things his own way. He tossed Ramon's gun to Myers as proof, then left the hotel and disappeared into the night. Tom called the hospital to check on Annie and learned that she couldn't speak yet, but her condition was improving. Meanwhile, John went there to make sure she was dead, but stopped when he saw Myers in her room. The next morning, Myers confronted John, questioning Tom's story and asking about the stolen money. Joan tried to hide the truth, but Myers didn't believe him. He handed Ramon his gun back and ordered both men to continue their mission. Joan remained consumed by his greed and selfish goals, while Ramon feared that Myers would soon uncover the truth. That night, Tom followed Ramon home. His wife noticed his tension and urged him to do the right thing. Still keeping his secret, Ramon said everything he did was for his family and told her to remember that if something happened to him. Suddenly, the sound of the garage door opening made him tense up. Tom appeared, disarmed Ramon, and forced him to help clear his name. No longer willing to be manipulated by Joan, Ramon revealed the truth. He had secretly taken the security footage from Annie's storage unit without Joan's knowledge. Ramon warned Tom that Joan planned to kill Annie and urged him to save her. Tom immediately went to the hospital, ensured Annie's safety, and quietly brought her back to his hotel room. The next morning, while buying supplies at a hardware store, Tom called Myers and told him that Annie was with him, insisting she had nothing to do with his plan. Despite Myers' concern, Tom remained determined. He then returned to his hotel and began assembling a bomb. The next morning, Annie recovered and wanted to leave Joan's place with Tom. Tom called Joan, forcing him to confess his crimes. Enraged, John threatened and tried to drive Tom away. As Tom started counting down, John panicked, thinking an explosion was coming. In the final seconds, Joan's house erupted in flames, forcing him to leap out to escape the fire. Tom gave Annie the security footage he had taken from Ramon and asked her to deliver it to Myers. Meanwhile, John returned to his hideout and called Ramon, asking him to meet at the storage warehouse. Myers received the memory card from Annie, who insisted that Tom was a good man. To prove it, Tom unlocked a hidden room, revealing the remaining $6 million. At the same time, John armed himself with 2 guns, ready to confront Ramon, unaware that Tom was secretly watching him. Tom pretended to take Ramon hostage to confront Joan and force him to lower his weapon. He revealed that he had the security footage. Enraged by the betrayal, John shot and killed Ramon. He then turned on Tom, leading to a fierce gunfight. Joan escaped with the money, while Tom was left severely wounded. Tom called Joan and told him there was a pressure-sensitive bomb under his car seat. Panicked, Joan was trapped inside, waiting for the bomb squad to arrive. Meanwhile, Tom recovered the recorded confession from Ramon's body and mourned his death. When Myers and the police surrounded Joan's car, the bomb squad discovered that the device was fake. Joan grew furious and was arrested by Myers while trying to steal the money. Back at the office, Myers found an envelope containing a recording that proved John was both the thief and Ramon's killer. Later, he met Annie and thanked Tom for helping bring John to justice. Tom took responsibility for his actions, turned himself in, and expressed his desire to become a better man. Myers promised to do everything he could to help reduce Tom's sentence, believing that Tom had truly changed. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like to support the channel. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss future videos.